Welcome to CFP. This is an episode for healers, creatives, and coaches to remind us of our worthiness and giving us courage to allow ourselves to be who we really want to be. And so the theme of this show is, or the title of this show is How the Mother and Father Wounds Show Up in Adult Life. So I want to welcome you to live. Um, I'm not that great about responding to questions live, but when I do see them come up after the show, I respond. But feel free to respond. And for those listening on the replay, thank you. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share. We want this content to go viral. Yes, viral. So today we are talking. This is our fourth episode on the mother and father wound. And this show is not about blame. It's really about opening our eyes to those things that we just didn't get while growing up. And this is our opportunity to reparent ourselves with those things that we need. So we're going to spend a couple of minutes talking about spotting those wounds, how they show up in real life, how they impact our love, our money, and our relationships. And so the core question is, why am I still afraid to take up space? Why am I afraid to not express myself? Why? So we're gonna tackle that question and more. We're gonna do an emotional freedom technique tapping to move past the wounds of the mother and the father. And for those showing up live, oh, hi, Anna Maria. For those showing up live, you have an opportunity to get on the love seat. And the love seat is a custom tapping just for you. Yes, we'll talk through your particular issue and you'll be able to see how quickly and easily emotional freedom techniques can really change your energy, your attitude, your behavior, and ultimately your life. So, a lovely Lauren is on vacay. She is a traveler. She's the traveler's traveler. So I can't wait to have her back next week. So today we're naming those old survival strategies that still run the show, that still show up in our adult life. And we're going to talk about how to shift them with compassion and not shame. Have you ever wondered, why do I keep doing this over and over and over again, even though I know better? Well, you're in the right place. We're going to map what's happening in your body, your calendar. We're going to talk about practice, how we play small. And we're going to cover some doable changes that really honor and calm your nervous system. And so my intention is that you leave feeling safer in your own skin, clearer about your boundaries, and more certain that you're allowed to take up space imperfectly and out loud. So let's start by just relaxing. So just make sure you're in a safe, comfortable place. We're going to take one deep breath together. We're going to inhale for a count of 4, and we're going to exhale for a count of 6. Just follow me. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And release with an audible sigh. Let's do that again. Inhale through the nose, count of 4. Inhale through your nose, count of 4. Exhale through your mouth, count of 6. Six, five, four, three, two, one, and end with an audible sigh. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So now we're going to talk about the 5 patterns that we're going to be mindful of. Now, these are the 5 classic patterns that often show up for empaths, healers, and creatives. And notice which one pings your body. I'm going to first talk about rejection fear. Now, rejection fear shows up by feeling like you got to over explain everything, or saying yes when you mean no. Checking your phone for signs that somebody's mad. That's rejection fear. And how does it impact your life? I'd love to hear from you. How does rejection fear impact your life? Well, for me, it's impacted my life by siphoning my time away, delaying decisions. Often I have these brilliant ideas and I don't act on them. I have all these products, these informational products that I've created. And many people don't even know they exist because I haven't shared it. That's how rejection fear plays out in my life. I'm really curious, how does it play out in yours? If you're listening on the replay, please write it in your comments, because once we have awareness that these things are taking place, then we can change them. And often we can change them with a quick reframe. And the reframe could be, hey, I can't control outcomes, but I can honor my own truth. So that's a way to reframe rejection fear. That's the first pattern. The second pattern we're going to talk about is boundary gaps. So a boundary gap are those boundaries that start to creep out. You may have said, hey, I might be able to help you, once a month with XYZ. And so scope creep would be, that person wants to do it more than that frequency that I suggested. Or it could look like a last minute favor. Or it could show up as a resentment that, where a boundary was crossed. And so the impact for me has typically been, exhaustion. Now, as a business owner, the impact has been not charging enough, start, sometimes I start, considering what people can afford. And I don't know what people could afford, but my mind thinks I can do it. So I might undercut my pricing. I might start being mealy mouth about what my expectations are. And so that's how boundary gaps can show up. But they can also be cleared with this particular reframe. Boundaries aren't walls. They're instructions for how I want to love myself and how I want people to love me. That's what a boundary is. And when I reframe using that boundary, then I'm no longer feeling some kind of way like, oh, I'm not good enough. Because what I'm saying to people is, hey, I want you in relationship with me. But this is how, love really works. And this is how I want to navigate a relationship with you so that we can have a loving relationship and coexist. Let me know if that resonates, or if you have something that you're looking to reframe. Now let's talk about the third pattern. And these patterns are really, really, really important, because these patterns show up for many of us. Perfectionism. So perfectionism. Sometimes I think about perfectionism and I also, use the other word paralysis in the same sentence, because that's how perfectionism really shows up at the end of the day. It shows up as 50 drafts of something. It shows up as 0 posts because, I've told myself if it's not good enough, I can't, I can't support it. I can't publish it. But what I've learned is progress over perfection. I used to think if it's not flawless, it's not safe. And I've come to realize the safeness was because of my own insecurity. I didn't want people to come up and say, oh, well, you missed this point or you missed that point because it's not perfect. When in fact, if it communicates the essence of what I'm trying to communicate, it's good enough. And it's impacted me really through paralysis. It's impacted me by having, a lot of digital products or services I have available that nobody knows about. It shows up as feeling guilty or about what I'm doing, or feeling as though my products are not worthwhile. I get shame. I spiral into this shame situation, and my creativity gets frozen. It's just on ice. I can't even move because I've got this idea of perfection running around. But often that helps me when I start to reframe perfectionism. And my reframe is done and kind beats perfect and never. Let me repeat that. Done and kind beats perfect and never. How many of you all can resonate with that? I'd love to hear your experience. Please share it in the comments below. The fourth pattern is control. Now, where are my control freaks out there? The over planning, the micromanaging, the bracing for the drop. And the bracing for the drop is really big deal. Life could be going great, but we're thinking, when is that other shoe gonna drop? Where's that bad thing gonna happen? And then, especially for all of us that believe in law of attraction, when you start bracing for something, you're really expecting something to happen, something bad to happen. And we know with the law of attraction, what you expect, you get. So be careful with that. Now, the impact on my control issues is that it creates tons of tension. It creates decision fatigue. It results in strained collaboration because I just want to control everything about it. And those are usually the worst experiences I've had. And so what's worked for me is to reframe the need to control to something that's loving and kind. Like, I can plan with flexibility and I trust my capacity. And sometimes I tap on it. I can plan with flexibility. I can trust with capacity. And lastly, we have got the visibility fear. We don't want to be seen. We don't want to be heard. So how does it show up? Well, for me and many of my clients, it shows up with hiding your offers, having your products and services in a corner that nobody knows about. It could look like minimizing your pricing. It could look like shrinking your voice. And what's the impact, dear souls? The impact is under earning. That's what it is. It's under sharing. It's not sharing your gifts. It's not being seen. It's staying safe in your corner. And so that's why it's really important to reframe that visibility fear. And we could reframe it to something like being seen is a skill, not a verdict. And it's safe to be seen. It's safe to express my voice. It is safe to speak my needs. And if any part of this conversation, when I'm talking about those 5 patterns, let's just do let's do a somatic check right now. Now, remember, somatic means in the body. So where are you feeling any tension in your body right now? Do you feel a tug, in your solar plexus, in your chest, throat, or belly? If you do, note it, recognize it. And if you recognize any of these to be true for yourself, nothing's wrong with you. Your body is brilliant. You're brilliant. You're doing exactly what you need to do all the time. You're human. You're a human having a spiritual experience. So again, if these patterns feel familiar, you're not broken. You're brilliant and you're adaptive. So now let us move forward with some more tools. Well, we're going to have an emotional freedom technique in just a moment, but let's talk about the impact of these patterns on love, money, and relationships. So with love and romantic partners, these patterns can show up as hyper independence, meaning I can do it all myself all the time. It could look like over functioning. It could look like testing love. If he loves me, then he'll do X, Y, and Z. It could also look like conflict avoidance or being performative, overdoing, overgiving, all those things. And in money, these patterns, these wounds of our mother and father can show up as hoarding. It can show up as scarcity. It can show up as under earning, over earning to feel safe, undercharging, not invoicing, chaotic spending to self-soothe. How many of you business owners out there have talked to somebody during your day-to-day lives and realized, hey, that might be a good person, to sell something to? And then as soon as that encounter is over, it's crickets. You don't contact them. You might even get their contact information and not even reach back out to them. How many of you have done that? I've done it many, many, many times. And is how the mother-father wound has impacted me. Not showing up, not following up. And with my own leadership of my own vessel, the wound has shown up through decision paralysis, meaning there's something I need to think about, do, but I'm just paralyzed because I don't know what's going to be correct. Or I might delegate without boundaries, apologize profusely for something that's not even worthy of an apology, or edit my own voice or edit my own desires by not thinking they're good enough. Or, deciding I want, have a goal, a large financial goal, and discounting it because I don't feel worthy of it. But I believe this, and I was just talking with some friends today. If Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk can decide they want to be the wealthiest men on this planet, they believed it. It wasn't too big for them. and they achieved it. So why can't I have my grandiose ideas and goals and visions? And why can't I realize them? Well, I can. When you start believing in your worthiness of your own desires and your own worthiness, then a whole new world starts to open up for you. And you don't have to apologize for those things that you desire. And then creativity just opens up. You can do things your own way. You don't have to do it like every Tom, Dick, and Sally. And you can feel calm and confident. So some ways that we can start to reframe this is with our language. And here are some examples. Instead of saying, "What's wrong with me?" we can say, "What protected me?" Or, "I must be perfect," to, "I'm safe while imperfect and visible." And from my book, Boundary BadAzz, it's really important to identify where your boundaries live. And it's good to, just pick a lane, identify, the green light. The green light is it's a clear yes or it's a clear no. Your breath is steady, you feel grounded. That's your green light for, how you can create your boundaries. It's you're feeling safe in your body. Now, a yellow light, if someone asks you something and you start feeling tense or your chest tightens up or you feel some resentment brewing, you got the pause signal at the yellow. You don't have to make a decision. You don't even have to say anything. You can say, "Hey, give me a moment." Now, a red, bright, red light, might signal a freeze response, with your nervous system. It might signal self-betrayal or, some people pleasing going on. And so when you feel that in your body, you might even get some temperature, some heat in your body. And you could just stop and say, "Hey, I'm not ready to make a decision right now. I'll get back to you." And remember, delay is not denial. Excellent. So now we are going to do our emotional freedom technique. So make sure you're in a safe, comfortable place. And just do what I do and say what I say. So this is going to help to relieve, this tapping will help to relieve your perfectionism technique tendencies, uh, will help us be more visible. But before we actually do that, I want you to first assess in your body right now. How safe is it for you to be seen and valued right now on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 is I'm completely calm about it. 10 is, oh, I've got a lot of anxiety about it. First number that comes to mind is what we're going to go with. And the goal is that after we do this short 2-round tapping, that your number goes down. And I like to do this because I want people to see how quickly emotional freedom techniques tapping can really work to change your energy, shift your patterns, and more importantly, bring you the results that you're looking for in life. Okay, so just do what I do and say what I say. Karate chop point. This is a gentle process, no bruising, no hurting, loving. Even though part of me still shrinks to stay safe, I honor how hard it is to protect me. I'm sorry. I honor how hard I worked to protect me. Even though visibility still feels risky in my body, I'm open to feeling safe while being seen. Eyebrow point. This old bracing pattern. Side of eye. Afraid to take up space. Under eye. Shrinking to stay safe. Under nose. Tension in my chest. Under mouth. Fear of rejection. Collarbone. Perfection keeps me stuck. 3 inches below the armpit. Control to avoid hurt. Top of head. Honoring the protector. Release the tapping. We're going to take a deep inhale through the nose and exhaling through the mouth with an audible sigh. Eyebrow. I am safe to be seen. Side of eye. I am worthy without perfection. Under eye. I can set limits. Under nose. My no creates room. Under mouth. My voice is valid. Collarbone. Courage lives in me. 3 inches below the armpit. I choose self-respect. Top of head. I take up space now. Butterfly taps on your shoulders. Every day in every way, my life gets better and better and better. Release the tapping. We're going to take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth with an audible sigh. Everything that is not peace and love. Excellent. Now, I'd like to share with you some ways that you can dive deeper with both Lauren and myself. Our contact information is listed below in the comments. You can reach us at tappingwithdrgigi.com. And I'd like to share with you some other ways to get in contact with us and how. So I've got Boundary BadAzz. That's a book that I've written. It teaches you to say no without feeling guilty. And we all need to do that. It's it's an ebook available for immediate download. So for $33.33, where else can you get this level of liberation and freedom? I'd also like to take a few moments to share about Afro Link Media. It's a place where you can get African American inspired media. In this case, we're sharing sight cards, affirmation cards, alphabet cards. You can learn Swahili. We even have them available in Spanish. So they're great for youngsters, elderly, people that want to learn a new language. I strongly advise you to take a look at and go to afrolinkmedia.com. We have a flash sale. You can add some great print cards and information cards, digital cards are available for download. And next is our landing page special. Sisters out there, sisters and brothers, if you've got talents and gifts that you're sitting on, wait no longer. I've got a $197 landing page special. This will allow you to start sharing your gifts and talents with the world, get it out there. Stop sitting on your gifts, people. You know, share your God-given gifts and start monetizing them. You can rewrite your money story in just 28 days. So this is an email program that sends you targeted somatic practices, journal prompts, and tapping to help you rewrite your money story. You know, so much of what we experience in life is based upon our belief. And so much of our money situation is based upon scarcity thinking that we have. So this course helps you to uncover what your scarcity thinking is, get that out the way so you can start attracting and receiving your prosperity and wealth. The Color Connection, we are meeting September 6th. And this meeting is for people of African American descent, by African American descent. And so these are powerful conversations that we can start to uncover the unconscious bias that we and others think about us. And so these sessions involve healing. We start to uncover, you know, all of the systemic racism, the unconscious bias, and we heal. And so on September 6th, we're going to be talking about money and how our collective unworthiness has impacted our money. And last but not least, tapping into recovery. This is a soft landing space for those people that are looking to reprogram their bad habits. Get rid of those bad habits, those destructive patterns, whether it's under earning, gambling, sex, people pleasing, whatever your issue is. Come join us every Tuesday from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We do healing. You have an opportunity to be on the love seat and really clear up, you know, whatever issues that you've got going on. The links below to all of those offers will be in the link below. So don't worry about having to write anything down. So before we close, I want to ask everyone that's listening live and in the replay, where does small still, or where does small still equal safe? And what new proof can you give your body this week that you can be visible and safe? And so I invite listeners to listen to all of our episodes on CFP. And I want to send you off with this affirmation. I am worthy, I am visible, and I am safe. Hey, before you go, make sure you join us for part 5 of our mother and father wound. Now, in this tender episode, we're going to guide our listeners to transform resentment into clean energy and self-honoring boundaries. We name the paradox at the heart of healing. I can love my parents and still grieve what I didn't give. So loyalty and loss can coexist with self-betrayal, without self-betrayal. Let me repeat that. Loyalty and loss can coexist without self-betrayal. Yes, let's stop self-betraying ourselves. We're going to move through simple nervous system rituals to release and lay down what isn't ours to carry. And so we're going to experience more healing, more worthiness, and more courage. So join us next week, same time, same channel. Look forward to seeing you. Be well.